आनंदरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्म विद्वरम्। हरि Om, salutations to all. So we are here in the 17th chapter now of this 6th canto. We saw that Bhagavan Ananta had manifested, Chitraketu had done the tapasya, and Bhagavan came, graced him, gave him the knowledge, etc. And now we continue here in this 17th chapter. Shukdev ji tells Parikshit Raja, Shri Shuka Uvacha, Yataschantarhito Nantaha Tasyai Kritvadishe Namaha Vidyadharaschitra Ketuhu Chachara Gagane Charaha. So, in the direction in which Bhagavan Ananta went, Chitraketu did the pranams, meaning Bhagavan appeared and then disappeared. And this Chitraketu went about flying in the air, and so many siddhas, sages, charanas, vidyadharas, all of them, they are singing the praise of Bhagavan Hari. Chitraketu was amidst all of them, and he lived for 10,000 million years in the valley of Mount Sumeru. Now, there one realizes the object of one's desires, and he was a very strong person also, and his power did not diminish through age, it increased through age, all that is described. On one occasion, as he was going in his aerial car that was given to him by Bhagavan Vishnu, he saw Bhagavan Shiva. Ekada savimanena Vishnu dattena bhasvata girisham dadrishe gachan paritam siddha charanaihi. So he saw Bhagavan Shiva. Around Bhagavan Shiva were all of these siddhas, charanas, and munis, devotees, many people are there. And what was Bhagavan doing? Alingyankita kritam devim bahuna muni samsadi. So with his hands he has embraced Mother Parvati. She is on his left side, and with his hands he has embraced Mother Parvati, and she is seated on his lap. There are all these divine beings all around. So going near them, Uvacha Devya Shunvatya Jahasochais Tadantike. He went close to them, he laughed loudly, and he spoke as the Devi can hear, he spoke like that. And what did he say? Chitraketu Uvacha Esha Loka Guru Sakshat Dharmam Vakta Sharirinam Aste Mukhya Sabhayam Vai Mithuni Bhuya Bharyaya. So he says that here is see Lord Shiva who is sitting and who is expounding dharma to all the beings, but in the assembly he is the main person, and he is sitting embracing his spouse. So Chitraketu, he criticizes Bhagavan Shiva, and he says further, Jatadharas Tivratapa Brahmavadi Sabhapatihi Angikritya Striyam Chaste Gatahrihi Prakrito Yatha. Like some very base, vulgar person. Prakrit Purush means that. Vikrit Purush, Prakrit Purush, Sanskrit Purush. Three types of people. Prakrit Purush means somebody who is very uh, indulgent, but will not break dharma for indulgence. But the mind is bhoga oriented, enjoyment oriented. This Vikrit Purush is somebody who is perverted, who will not bother about morality, who will not bother about any, dharma, code of conduct, nothing. Enjoy at any cost, anyhow. That is Vikrit Purush. Sanskrit Purush is somebody whose mind is occupied with the higher values, who is not bhoga oriented, and even whatever one enjoys will be limited and within the bounds of dharma. So here he calls Bhagavan Shiva as Prakrit Purush. That's that. Prakrito Yatha. And further he says, he also says that he has a jata and he does lot of tapasya, and in this sabha of so many Brahmavadins who are knowers of Brahman, he is sitting embracing this woman and there is no shame, gata hrihi. So he is sitting there hugging a woman shamelessly as like an uncultured person. Prayasha prakritaश्चापि स्त्रियं रहसि बिभ्रति अयं महाव्रतधरो बिभर्ति सदसि स्त्रियम. Says even this so-called uncultured people also, if they embrace a woman, they will do it in solitude, in seclusion. And here he is, Bhagwan himself as, Mahavratadharo. He has taken such great vows and he is doing some tapasya, and now he has embraced his spouse in this whole assembly. Now, both of them heard, whole Sabha heard, Shivji heard, Mother Parvati heard, all of them heard. So Shukadevji says, Bhagavan api tachutva prahasya gadha dhir nripa tushnim babhuva sadasi sabhyascha tadanuvrataha. Now, when he heard this critical comments, what did Bhagavan Shiva do? His mind is very deep and it is not easy to understand his mind. So he kept quiet. He didn't bother. He just smiled, laughed, prahasya agadhadhihi. Agadhadhi means very deep is his thinking. Not easy to fathom his thinking. He just laughed it off. And what happened then? All the others who were also there, they followed. Because Shivji is not getting angry, upset, or he is not, punishing him, Chitraketu. He just smiled, he laughed it away. Because in his mind there is no lust or anything. He is sitting there. And all the others also saw that, okay, Bhagwan is not getting angry, upset, anything, then why should we react? And so they also kept quiet. Because they are also devoted to him, Sabhyasa Tadanuvrata, and they followed him. इत्यतद वीर्य विदुषी ब्रुवाणे बहव शोभनम रुषाह देवी धृष्टाय निर्जितात्मा भिमानिने. So now this Chitraketu, who is ignorant of Bhagavan Shiva's greatness because he is a devotee of Bhagavan Vishnu. So this story is also to understand this fact that one may have bhakti towards one's Ishta Devata, and he was devoted to Bhagavan Vishnu, he worshipped Ananta, he got the darshan and all that happened. But he does not know Bhagavan Shiva and he has not yet understood the oneness of Shivji and Vishnu Bhagavan. And so, mind can fall at any time. The mind can misunderstand anytime. One has to be alert. So he doesn't know. That's why it is said here that he doesn't know the glory of Bhagavan Shiva, and he was just saying something that is not befitting actually. And so Mother Parvati, she gets very angry. Rushaha Devi, aha means to speak. So Devi got very angry, Parvati Devi, and she thought that this Vidyadhara, this Chitraketu, is very, very impudent. And so she spoke. She cursed him. Parvati Uvacha. Ayam kimadhuna loke shasta dandadhara prabhu अस्मद् विधानाम दुष्टानाम निर्लज्जानाम च विप्रकृत. So she says that is this fellow the only Lord ruling over the world and wielding the rod of punishment and competent to treat with disrespect wicked and shameless people like us? That's a taunt. Wicked and shameless people like us, meaning he is somebody who can pronounce judgment and who holds the danda and he knows what is right and wrong, and so he is pronouncing, you know, he is treating with disrespect shameless and wicked people like us. Then she says, neither Brahmaji nor the sons of Brahmaji, Bhrigu, Narada, Sanat Kumar, Kapil Muni, nor Swayambhu Manu, who know righteousness, they don't prohibit Lord Shiva from violating righteousness, if at all he has violated righteousness. They all are also there. If Bhagwan Shiva was doing anything unrighteous, they would have told him. They have not stopped him. So she says that this fellow surely needs to be punished. Why? Because he is a vile Kshatriya, is impudent enough to insult the sages and teach Lord Shiva, whose lotus feet are worthy of being contemplated on by the all these great people, and is not fit to resort to the feet of Bhagwan Shiva. This Vidyadhara, he may be devotee of Bhagwan Vishnu, sorry. He may be a devotee of Bhagwan Vishnu, but he is not fit because he has not understood the oneness and his mind is still at the body level. This self-conceited and arrogant fellow is not fit to resort to the soles of the feet of Vishnu, the very act of approaching which is esteemed by the virtuous. See that. Nayam arhati vaikuntha pada mulopa sarpanam. Sambhavita matihi stabdha. Stabdha means who is, like a dull-witted person. Sadhubhi paryupasitam. Those feet which are worshipped by great men, he is not, sadhus, pure-minded people. Those feet of Bhagavan Vishnu, he is not fit to resort to those feet. So the curse she gives is Ata papiyasim yonim asurim yahi durmate. O durmate, O wicked minded person, you have that thought process in you. So you be born in the Papa Yoni. Which is the Papa Yoni? Asura Yoni here. Papiyasi, meaning the worst of the Papa Yonis. In that you go. Yahi means go. Yatheha bhuyo mahatam nakarta putra kilbisham. And so that you don't perpetrate this again in this world against the exalted souls, you don't talk like this again. So you go into the Papa Yoni, be born into the Asuri Yoni, and she is the mother of the whole world, so she calls him son. Nakarta putra kilbisham. So you don't again commit the same mistake, so she curses him, go into the Papa Yoni. Now Shukdev ji continues and he says that this Chitraketu, when he heard this, He is still in his aerial car only. Huh? He has gone in the aerial car near there. See, that's what he says now. That alighting from this aerial car propitiated the noble lady goddess Parvati with his head bent low, and with all humility now he is asking forgiveness. So Chitraketu says, Chitraketu Ruvacha, Pratigrinnamite Shapam Atmano Anjalinambike Devair Martyaya Yat Proktam Purvadishtam Hi Tasya Tat. He says that I accept your curse with all humility, with palms joined. For whatever is pronounced by the divinities with reference to a mortal is undoubtedly that which is predestined for him. So he accepts. He doesn't resist. Then he says that he got deluded because of ignorance. Samsara chakra etasmin jantur ajnana mohitaha Brahmayan Brahmyan Sukham cha Dukkham cha Bhungte Sarvatra Sarvada. Because of this ignorance, this jiva goes through the cycle of birth and death and goes through all this sukha, dukkha, the pairs of opposites, having got a body, and at all times one is just being tossed about by these pairs of opposites. Neither oneself nor anyone is responsible for one's joy and sorrow. नैवात्मा न परश्चापि कर्ता स्यात् सुख दुःखयोः कर्तारं मन्यते अप्राज्ञा आत्मानं paramev cha. So what does this mean? Neither oneself nor anyone else is responsible for one's joys and sorrow. Generally we say that others are not responsible for our joys and sorrows. Our emotions are our responsibility. It is we who choose how we will respond. And so generally we say, don't blame others, you are responsible. So that is at one level. Where we experience choice, then we must make the best choice and we must take responsibility of our life and not keep blaming other people and the government and the neighbor and then the in-laws or the boss or anybody else. We say no. They may do something, but my response is my responsibility. What I am going through in my mind is my responsibility. So these are two levels. Instead of blaming somebody, take ownership. I mean, take charge of your life, your mind, your responses. But the higher truth is, whatever is done is destined by Bhagavan. But that can be understood only when a person lives in complete surrender. One can't apply that fact conditionally. Whenever one likes, one says it is all Bhagavan's will, and other time one says I am the Karta. So that's why he says here that a fool alone holds himself. Kartaram manyate aprajna. If I think I am the Karta, I made the choice, all that is delusion only. Which applies in all actions. Not only in this wrong actions, even all the so-called good actions also are done by Bhagavan. Bhagavan is a Karta. But if that is not applied consistently, then what will happen? We will take it up as a convenient argument that when we do something wrong or when we hurt somebody or anything adharmic happens, then we say no, it is all destined by Bhagavan. And when something very good happens and I am in some success, I have attained some power, some glory, then I did so much hard work. Now that is conditional application. A devotee understands everything is the Leela of Bhagavan only. And to think that, in the Gita, Bhagavan says that Indriyarthan vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate. One who is attached to the senses, to the sense objects, then one thinks I am the Karta. So that's why he says here, Kartaram manyate aprajna atmanam paramevacha. uh, one thinks of oneself as a karta or one holds others responsible. But the fact is, it is happening by Bhagavan's will only. गुण प्रवाह एतस्मिन् कशाप को नु कोन्वनुग्रहः कस्वर्गो नरक को वा किम सुखम दुःखमेव वा. So from that higher standpoint, if one actually sees, then this is play of gunas that is going on. Guna guneshu vartante iti matva na shajjate. In the Gita, Bhagavan says the wise person's vision is what? This is the three gunas playing amongst themselves. Sometimes the mind gets deluded also, sometimes one gets attached also, sometimes there is great clarity, detachment, peace. So this play of the gunas will go on. Guna pravaha etasmin. In that kaha shapa, kaha anugraha. What is a curse and what is a blessing in this? They both are illusory. Then kasvarga narakaha. What is heaven and what is hell? Kova kim sukham dukham evava. And where is this happiness and this sorrow? Meaning, all this is the play of Bhagavan's Maya. Eka srijati bhutani Bhagavan Atma Mayaya. That one Supreme Lord, Ekaha, he creates multitudes of beings by his own Maya, Atma Mayaya. Esham bandham cha moksham cha sukham dukkham cha nishkalaha. And so he says that this Bhagwan only makes this jiva bound, and then Bhagwan only gives liberation to that jiva also, gives them happiness, gives them misery. But he is free from all that. Nishkalaha. Natasya kaschid daita pratipo nagnati bandhur na parona cha swaha. He says, to him who is alike to all and free from attachment, none is dear or hateful, none is a kinsman or relation, and none is his own or alien. He has no love for pleasure. How can there be anger in him? That is the nature of consciousness. And where is that consciousness? In the hearts of all. There is no one special, no one towards whom Bhagwan has anger. Why? Because he is the self of all. See that. 23rd one, where he says that tathapi tat shakti visarga esham sukhaya dukkhaya hitahitaya bandhaya mokshaya cha mrityu janmano sharirinam samsritaye vakalpate. Just a minute. So though people are not, specially dear to Bhagwan, or that he has any aversion towards anybody, because he is the self of all, yet karma happens. See, he says that yet action flows from his energy, conduces to the joy and sorrow, welfare and injury, bondage and liberation, birth and death, and the circuit of worldly life of the embodied souls. The jiva goes on as per the karma. Jiva has also been given this free will. The jiva can choose, but all that is based on Bhagwan's will. The free will is an appearance of free will. If one surrenders completely, then one will make the best choice anyway. Whatever has to happen will be in a dharmic way. And karta bhav also goes away. But even this surrender, when it is not there, the jiva who feels I am the doer, I am doing this, based on that the jiva goes through cycle of birth and death. Even that is by will of Bhagavan only. In his Maya, this is going on. That's what it means. And so, why is he saying all this? Atha prasadaye natvam shapa mokshaya bhamini. It's very unique. He says, I am not saying all this to request you to remove the curse. But what does he do this for? Yan manyase asadhuktam mama tat kshamyatam sati. He says that if you think that I have said some things which are unworthy, then you please forgive me. So he said all this finally to ask for forgiveness, and through that he is saying that through that he's saying that everything is happening by the will of Bhagwan only. And so you please forgive me. I am a jiva in this cycle of birth and death. I am caught. It is Maya of Bhagwan that deludes people, and it is because of ignorance of our true nature. We feel we are the karta, and then when we are the karta, then the bhokta, and then the sukha, dukkha, all this happens. That's the nature of the samsara and the jiva, so you please forgive me. Now, when he has said this, Shukadevji continues, Iti prasadya girishau Chitraketur arindama jagama swa vimanena pashyatoho smayatostayoho. So having pleased Bhagavan Shiva and Mother Parvati, Chitraketu went his way by his aerial car, and both of them, Bhagavan saw him, he departed. They looked at him in wonder. Now Bhagavan Shiva spoke to Mother Parvati. Tatastu Bhagavan Rudro Rudranim idam abravit. Devarshihi Daitya Siddhanam Parshadanam cha Shrinvatam. As all the other Devarshis and Siddhyas and Daityas and Parshadas, everybody is listening, he spoke. What did he say? Shri Rudra Vacha Drishtavatyasi Sushroini Harer Adbhuta Karmanaha Mahatmyam Bhritya Bhrityanam Nisprahanam Mahatmanam. So he says this, that you saw the glory of this great devotee of Bhagavan Vishnu. Harer Adbhuta Karmanaha, and you see his actions. Mahatmyam Bhritya Bhrityanam, he is the servant of the servant, as though, of Bhagavan Hari. And how free are they from all types of cravings? Nisprahanam, Mahatmanam. He did not even ask for the relief from the curse. Nothing for himself to enjoy, but the curse also he didn't ask to relieve. Why? Because that is Bhagavan's will, he took it as that. Narayana para sarve na kutaschana bibhyati swargapavarga narakeshu apitulyartha darshinaha. Those who are Narayana paraha, this word has come earlier also in Bhagavatam. Narayana paraha means those who are completely surrendered to Bhagwan Narayana in thought, word, deed, everything. Such people, Narayana Para Sarve, all those devotees who are surrendered fully to Bhagwan Narayana, na kutaschana bibhyati, they are not scared of anything. Not in a arrogant way, yeah, I can do anything, I'm not scared, I'm devotee of Narayana, so I will break any rule, dekhte hain kya kaun kar sakta hai, not like that. They are not scared, they are absolutely fearless because they have that bhav of seva, sharanagati towards Bhagwan, and they don't want swarga, they don't want mukti, and they don't even fear suffering in the hell. Narakeshu api tulya artha darshinaha, and they don't want anything attained in any of these, in the heaven, in the hell, in the state of mukti, nothing, meaning they are so desireless. This is one uh, glory of the devotee who has surrendered to Bhagavan Vishnu. Because remember, this whole thing is a backstory of Vritrasura. That how was Vritrasura so devoted to Bhagavan, though he was born in Asuryoni. So what is his backstory? So then Chitraketu, his wives, and then he did not have children, and all that we saw. So that's why Bhagavan says here that Shivji says, this is the glory of such devotees of Bhagavan Vishnu who have no desire for anything. Because remember, even this Patal, the 7 levels what we saw below, they are all very luxurious places. And below those 7 are the 28 forms of hell, which were just enlisted. There are many more. But those 7 levels down also supposed to be very pleasure oriented, enjoyment oriented, much more than even heaven. So he says these are devotees who have no desire for any of this. So they find no use for heaven, for final beatitude, and even for the infernal regions. Why? Because they see Bhagwan alone pervades everywhere. Dehinam deha samyogat dvandvan ishvara leelaya sukham dukkham mritir janma shapo nugraha evacha. So they treat all this as the leela of Bhagwan. What? Because of this deha samsarga, because of the identification with the body, one assumes oneself to be the dehi, and then one goes through these pairs of opposites, and then sukham, dukkham, and then janma and mrityu, and then shrapa and anugraha. For them, all this is one leela of Bhagwan. It is through the deluding potency of God that souls are invested with a body, and it is due to their connection with a body that pairs of opposites such as joy and sorrow, life and death, uh, excretion and benediction are experienced by the jiva. So it is by the will of Bhagwan these things keep happening. Aviveka krita pumso hyartha bheda ivatmani. So the notion of desirability and otherwise too is really the outcome of man's ignorance. Guna dosha vikalpascha bhideva srajivat kritaha. Just like the distinction of pleasurable and painful experiences with reference to one's own self in a dream, and has been precisely conceived as the notion of a snake. Srijavit kritaha. So that in a garland, one sees, instead of seeing a garland, one sees as a snake. In that same way, instead of seeing ourself as pure consciousness, we identify with the body, and then we feel that we are the jiva, and then go through all this. That is happening by the Maya of Bhagwan, by his power. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhaktim Udvahatam Nrinam Jnana Vairagya Viryanam Neha Kaschid Vyapashrayaha. So those who are devoted to Bhagwan Vasudeva and who are practicing these different sadhanas, then there is nothing that those people, those devotees desire. Why? Because they have jnana, they have vairagya, jnana vairagya viryanam. Naiha kaschid vyapashraya. There is nothing for them to attain here. Why? Because they already attained the fulfillment by surrendering to Bhagavan Vishnu. And they also have the strength of jnana, atma jnana it means here, and vairagya, dispassion. So they have no desire. So if they don't have any desire, then any praise also or any criticism doesn't affect them. Any blessing or grace or even some shrapa doesn't affect. Why? Whatever is the will of Bhagwan will happen. Oh, so did he speak also like that by will of Bhagwan? Yes, he spoke. Not that we are just trying to justify here that what he did was right. Mother Parvati gave him the curse for it and he will go through the curse. So obviously that action is not right and that got a particular negative consequence also. But he is not affected by it because he is a Bhakta of Bhagwan and he gladly accepted that curse and he said, this is will of the Lord only, this has happened and I am very sorry. He sought forgiveness also and now he goes and he will take birth. That will happen further. But the point here is this. The mind which is surrendered to Bhagwan, for that mind everything is a Leela. So including him coming down in from in his aerial car and then seeing Bhagwan Shiva embracing Mother Parvati and all that, he spoke what he spoke. So the point to understand here is he is in that high state of bhakti where all the good and the bad, whatever is happening by will of Bhagwan. So he has surrendered fully. One should be alert in this. One should not misunderstand saying that, okay, he also spoke whatever he felt like, and then he's saying it is all will of Bhagwan, so I will also do that. No, no, no. He lives like that throughout. All the tapasya I did last chapter we saw. And so here he says that the bhaktas, so this is in a way glorifying the bhakta of Bhagwan also. That who are the devotees of Bhagwan Vishnu, they are of such mind who completely surrender and who don't have karta bhav and bhokta bhav and they have jnana and vairagya naiha kaschid vyapashrayah. So they don't desire anything specific in this world, which also shows that that's why surrender is complete. If there is some desire for something or the other, then surrender one may do conditionally, saying ki please bless me with this, bless me with that. When ahankar only is gone, one has surrendered that fully, then whatever is ahankar needs also is gone with that. Whatever is required, prarabdha will bring, Bhagwan will send, so one is not bothered. In the Vivek Chudamani, that is Shankaracharya ji says, prarabdham pushyati vapuhu iti nischitya nischalaha savadhanena yuktatma swadhyasapanayam kuru. That what should a seeker do? Majority of the people, they run in the world for yoga and kshema, to gain what they don't have and to protect what they have. And so the mind goes behind that. Here he says that the seeker, wise seeker, what does he do? Prarabdham pushyati vapu. This body will be taken care of by past karma. I don't have to do anything now to take care of this body. What I do now is going to create the future. Oh Swamiji, so if I don't earn, who will feed me? If you have that much of bhav, because it is not about laziness, it is said prarabdham pushyati vapu iti nischitya nischalaha. You firmly determine this and become undisturbed. And what to do? Savadhadena yuktatma. This integrated person with great alertness must try to get out of this false identification that I am the jiva. That is a sadhana to be done. It's not that, okay, I am just going to sit and sleep and relax and then let somebody send food to me. It is not talking about laziness. It is saying that you put the highest effort to get out of this bondage. Don't run behind only yoga and kshema. That will be taken care of. That is already taken care of. It is like a prepaid voucher you have. Na? Suppose you have some voucher of 1,000 rupees. You go to the mall, you buy what you want to buy out for the 1,000 rupees is already paid for. You don't have to do anything to pay for that. Same way, this body from the time it is born up to the time it will drop, its karma is decided. That is based on one's own past karma. Sanchit karma, fructified is prarabdha now, and it will go through that. For maintenance of the body, if I think I have to do something so that now it will maintain, it will be done only because it's a past karma and prarabdha. So I'm acting it out. Otherwise, the body is taken care of by past. It is not by today's effort that I'm taking care of the body. It is past karma that is taking care of this body. And when that karma will be over, the body will drop. So the jiva who has understood this, he will not bother about from where will the next meal come, who will take care of me, what will happen if I fall sick and all that. That will be taken care of. The person is putting in effort to realize Bhagavan. In the Vivek Chudamani, it is to realize the self. So that's why he says here that this devotee doesn't have only that concern because he surrendered to Bhagavan. And further he says that neither myself nor Brahma nor Sanat Kumar or Narad or Bhrigu, Angira or Indra, Yama, none of us know what is the intention of Bhagavan Vasudeva. See, remember this is Bhagavatam, so Vasudeva or Narayana, Mahan Vishnu is the greatest. Earlier it was said that mind of Shivji also is very difficult to know. So Shivji and Vishnu Bhagavan are one and the same, just appearing to different forms. So here Shivji is a devotee of Bhagavan Vishnu. So he says even I or Brahma, nobody knows what is the mind of Vishnu because he is beyond all comprehension. And it is his Maya only that jivas are, it's a creation, sustenance, destruction happens, and jiva goes in the cycle of birth and death by the Maya of Bhagavan. And so whatever is his will, he only knows and he only executes. None is dear, nahi nahyasti priyah kaschin na apriyah swaha paropiva. There is nobody not dear, there is nobody extremely dear, there is nobody my own and not my own. Why? Atmatvat Sarva Bhutanam, because Bhagwan Vasudeva is the Atma of all the beings, Sarva Bhutanam. Sarva Bhuta Priyo Hari, so he loves all the Bhutas, all the beings. Tasya Chayam Mahabhagas Chitraketu Priyo Nugaha. Sarvatra Samadrikshanto Hyaham Chaivachyuta Priyaha. Of that Bhagavan Mahavishnu, this Chitraketu is one servant. See that. And he is highly beloved and this highly blessed Chitraketu is his beloved servant, looking on all with the same eye and tranquil by nature. And he says, Shivji says, I am also a devotee of that Lord Vishnu only, that immortal Lord. And so two devotees we are. So I did not feel disturbed. See the humility of Shivji also. He says he is also devotee, I am also devotee, we both are devotees. And he said something, I didn't bother about it. Because my focus is on Bhagwan. Though he said something, it didn't bother me. Therefore, you should have no wonder in regard to the behavior of those high-souled men who are devotees of Lord Vishnu and tranquil by nature and who view all with the same eye. So this is what he says to Mother Parvati, saying you forgive him, you let go, and he is also a great devotee. So this is actually the portion to bring out even the glory of the Bhakta of Bhagavan Vishnu. Now when Mother Parvati heard this, then she was free from astonishment and felt pacified in the mind. Though fully capable of pronouncing a counter curse, Chitraketu accepted the curse with reverence. That's again a quality of the devotee. And Chitraketu accepted the curse with reverence. Such ideal non-violence is a characteristic of a pious soul. So that's the point here. Then Jagne Tvashtur Dakshinagnav Danavim Yonimashritah Vritra iti Abhivikhyato Jnana Vijnana Samyutah. So now this is the way he is born. How this Chitraketu, he was cursed to go into the demonic species, right? So he sprang up from the sacred fire called Dakshinagni of the god Tvashta. When Tvashta did this, because his son Vishwarupa was beheaded by Indra. So when Tvashta did this yajna, then from that yajna, this Vritrasura was born. And who was Vritrasura? Jnana Vijnana Samyutah. So he is endowed with knowledge and wisdom. Now, whatever backstory was there of Vritrasura has been explained. This is why he has bhakti towards Bhagwan, and his bhakti is so great that even Shivji explained to Mother Parvati that don't get so disturbed. It is the will of Bhagwan, and see the devotee who remains peaceful, undisturbed, doesn't have any desire for enjoyment here or hereafter. These are the glorious devotees of Bhagwan Vishnu. Now this episode concludes here. So Shukadevji says that I have told you all that you have inquired of me, the cause of Vritra's birth as a demon and what accounted for his devotion to the Lord. So Purva Janma Samskara will continue even in this life. And that's why you saw that Vritrasura gave such knowledge of Vairagya etc. to Indra, and he was devoted, and which is what made everybody stunned. How can such a person who is who is a demon have this much of bhakti? Because that is a backstory. Each one has come based on their karma. Whatever is the karma one has brought, for whatever reason one is born to exhaust that past karma, the jiva's journey continues. Same jiva who was in another body, dropped that body, now is in this body. Chitraketu left that body, now is born as Vritrasura. And so many times we don't understand why this person is behaving like that, why that person is saying like this. What have I done wrong? One may introspect to find out if one has done anything, but otherwise nothing. It is all the past janma, some karma of that person, and finally it is will of Bhagwan only. So one doesn't blame anybody. If I don't have my karta bhav very strong, then I will be able to see the other things also acting in such a way that it is will of Bhagwan. But if my ahankar is strong, then everything I will view from the lens of ego. So this katha is also not only to say how Vritrasura got his bhakti, because that is Purva Janma, Sadhana, Samskar and all that, but it is also to explain to us this strong feeling of kartatva, as well as opposed to that is the bhavana of surrender, and whatever happens, happens by the will of Bhagwan. To live continuously in that state. And so he says that by listening to this sacred episode of this high-souled Chitraketu, revealing the glory of the votaries of Lord Vishnu, one is completely rid of the bondage of mundane existence. Rising early in the morning, he who recites this episode with reverence, remaining silent, refraining from all other talk, and remembering Sri Hari all the time, attains the supreme goal. So the person who follows this This keeps coming in Bhagavatam, different prasangas, and each for prasangas has some um, falashruti. So this portion concludes that backstory of Vritrasura. Now this portion, last one, which is about the Maruts. Who are these Maruts and how are they born, etc. That will come, and with that, this sixth canto will get over. Maybe another one or two classes it will conclude. Then we start the seventh one. So for today, I will stop here. Any questions? Yes.
Swamiji, hearing all this, so how does a seeker live when you say everything is by the will of the God? Like even Chitraketu, when he spoke to Parvati in that rude manner, you're saying even that was the will of God.
Yeah, but
Sure.
that's why I said that while we are at the Karta Bhav level, we have to make the best choice and we have to live as per Dharma. And in this context, it is that remember, he has also done his tapasya, he has surrendered to Bhagwan, and so if that point in time it happened, it is the will of the Lord. And so Chitraketu, if you see, he did not ask for the curse to be removed because that curse is will of Bhagwan. So he says, okay, I will go, I will become that Asura, I will suffer in that, and I will get killed also. That is also will of Bhagwan. So we have two choices in that sense. If I am living in that complete surrender, then every single thing is the will of Bhagwan. So good and bad, whatever karmas I do, whatever results of that also come, mind is not having any form of, you know, preference. Everything is will of Bhagwan. So if something good happens, one goes through that. Something bad happens, one goes through that. The result of that also one goes through. There is no resistance at all. Why this happened? There is no preference. Ki this should happen, this should not happen. That requires absolute surrender, complete surrender. Every single thing is will of Bhagwan. That's the highest standpoint to live, predetermination and surrender to Bhagwan. If that is not possible, then one should live at the attitude with the attitude that I am here to do my seva of Bhagwan and I am here to follow dharma and I will live my life doing sadhana, remembering Bhagwan, getting out of raga and dvesh, being alert in my actions, overcoming some negativities, all the six vikaras which are there, that one should do. And one should be consistent in either of these. One should not say only for good things it is all my doing and for the bad things it is Bhagwan's will. That one should not do.
So Swamiji, when one lives with that attitude, it's very difficult to do something wrong, you say, when you live in this dharmic way, when you're trying to live as a seeker
So why
doing
should
good
I do
things.
something wrong? I don't have to do something wrong now. When I'm trying to choose in a dharmic way and live, then I should ensure that I don't do the wrong.
So then it's very likely that a person will not do something wrong when he lives as a seeker and aiming to live at a higher level like Chitraketu. But even like Chitraketu, sometimes wrong things can happen. But then you accept the result and you don't, like he didn't say that take away your curse. Then you accept whatever comes.
Yeah, so when you do whatever best with the right intentions and something wrong happened by whatever is the past impulsiveness or vasana, then I have to accept the result and again make the correction saying, okay, next time I should not do this. I should be more alert. I have to learn my lesson in that.
Okay, Hari Om, Swamiji. Thank you.
Hari Om.
मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम की मंगल प्रीति रीति धूम की मंगल कांति हसनी दसनन की मंगल मुरली दीना धुन की मंगल आरती मंगल बणिक त्रिभंगी हरि की मंगल सेवा सब सहचर की, मंगल सिर चंद्रिका मुकुट की, मंगल छवि नयन में अटकी, मंगल आरती। पभी अंग अंग की, मंगल गौर श्याम रंग की, मंगल अति कटि पियरे पट की, मंगल चितमणि नागर नट की, मंगल आरती। मंगल शोभा कमल नयन की, मंगल माधुरी मृदुल पैन की, मंगल वृंदावन मद अटकी, मंगल क्रीडन जमुना तट की, मंगल आरती। मंगल चरण अरुण तरुवन की, मंगल करणी भगति हरिजन की, मंगल जुगल प्रिया भावन की, मंगल श्री राधा जीवन की, मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम की, मंगल प्रीति रीति डोल की, मंगल आरती, मंगल आरती। राधावर कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम्, नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतो यमग्निः, तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं, तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की।
ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम।